In this video, I'll share with you an update on my $10,000 stock portfolio after 5 months of investing $2,000 each month. If you're new to my channel, I work as a finance manager at a top tech company with an MBA in finance and a CPA designation. For a quick background, each month I'm investing $1,000 to build my dividend stock portfolio and another $1,000 to build my undervalued stock portfolio. So without any further ado, let's check how my stock portfolio is performing so far, starting with undervalued stocks first. So this table contains all my 15 undervalued stocks that have invested $5,000 over the past 5 months. I have the average cost per share, the number of shares that I own, and my total investment, which is just the average cost multiplied by number of shares. If I type the current price of the stocks and dividends received in these two columns, I'll be able to see whether or not I'm making profit or loss on each of my investment in these columns. So let's start with the first company on my list, which is Alibaba. Alibaba is a Chinese e-commerce company and I have 2 shares of their stock at $72.45 per share. The current price of Alibaba stock is now $77.30, which means that I'm up by $9.70 or 6.7% return so far. The next company is Apple and I have 3 shares of their stock at $173.21. The current price of the Apple stock is now $219.25 and I received 75 cents in dividends so far, which means that I'm up by $138.87 or plus 26.7% return on my Apple investment. The next company on my list is Baidu, which is trading at $84.25 per share, which means that I'm down by $3.61 or negative 3.3% loss so far. The price of the Boeing stock continued to decline recently with all the different issues with their planes, and now it's trading at $169.78 per share, which means that I'm down by $57.10 or negative 6.3% loss so far. Company number 5 on my list is BYD, the producer of Chinese electric cars, and the current price of their stock is $55.76, and the company has paid me $1.47 in dividends so far, which means that I'm down by $2.49 or negative 2.2% loss so far. The next company on my list is Chewy, which has been one of my best investments so far, and I have 23 shares of their stock at $16.84 per share. The current price of the Chewy stock is now $22.17, which means that I'm up by $122.59 or plus 31.7% return. Company number 7 on my list is Costco and their stock is trading at $820.50 and the company has also paid me 58 cents in dividends so far, which means that I'm up by $25.42 or plus 14.1% return. The price of the Disney stock went down to $89.52 and the company has paid me $2.25 in dividends, which means that I'm losing $72.35 or negative 13.9% loss. Company number 9 is MasterCard and it's trading at $462.02 per share, and the company has also paid me 33 cents in dividends so far, which means that I'm up by $8.79 or almost 4% return on my investment. Company number 10 is Nvidia, one of the most popular companies of 2024. The stock price went down recently and it's only trading at $106.73 now, which means that I'm losing almost $36 on my investment or negative 14.4% loss. PayPal is trading at $61.83, which means that I'm up by almost $2 or 1.5% return. Shopify is trading at $54.23 per share, which means that I'm losing $103.68. Tesla has been performing quite well for me as it's trading at $208 per share, which means that I'm up by $71.56 or 20.8% return so far. The next company is trading at $62.54 per share, and it has paid me $1.35 in dividends, which means that I'm up by almost $40 or 26.8% return. And the last company on my list is Visa, and their current stock price is $265.01. So I'm losing almost $4 on my investment in Visa or negative 1.4% loss. So overall, you'll see that I've invested almost $5,000 into my stocks, and the current value of my portfolio is $5,134.97. This means that I'm up by $139.75 or plus 2.8% return so far. My return was actually a lot higher than 2.8% just a few days ago, but the stock market went down by a lot early in August. You can check out a separate video that I posted about the reasons why it went down in August. Also, make sure to check out my new video with my undervalued stock picks for August, where I invested another $1,000 into different stocks. And now let's review the performance of my dividend stocks. This table contains all my 13 dividend stock investments where I invested $5,000 over the past 5 months. I have the average cost that I purchased each stock, the number of shares that I own, and the total investment, which is just average cost multiplied by number of shares. If I type the current prices of the stocks and any dividends that I've received to date from these stocks in these columns, I'll be able to see whether or not I'm making profit or loss on each of my investments. So let's start with the first company on my list, which is ADP. The current price of the ADP stock is now $263.52, and the company has paid me $1.40 in dividends, which means that I'm up by $46.98 or plus 9.8% return. The next stock is AvalonBay, which is a real estate company and one of my best performing stocks to date. The current price of the stock is $210.02, and the company has paid me $3.40 in dividends so far, which means that I'm up by $37.69 or plus 21.4% return. The next company, BP, is trading at $34.15 per share, and they've paid me $2.18 in dividends, which means that I'm down by $26.02 or negative 7% loss so far. The stock price of the next company, Clorox, is now $143.95, and the company hasn't paid me any dividends, which means that I'm up by $29.64 so far, or 5.4% return. Company number 5 is Johnson & Johnson, and their current stock price is $163.95, and the company has also paid me $1.24 in dividends, which means that I'm up by $7.44 or plus 4.7% return. The next company is Coca-Cola with a stock price of $69.22 and a dividend payment of $1.46, which means that I'm up by $26.72 or plus 14.6% return. Company number 7 is 3M Corporation, which is my best performing stock so far, and the current price of their stock is $124.75, and they've also paid me $1.40 in dividends, which means that I'm up by $64.18 or plus 34.4% return so far. Company number 8 is PepsiCo, Coca-Cola's biggest competition, and the current price of their stock is $177.59, and the company has paid me $1.36 so far, which means that I'm up by $15.15 or plus 9.2% return. Pfizer is now trading at $30.35, and they have paid me $4.20 in dividends. Stanley Black & Decker, my company number 10, is trading at $99.22 per share, and it has paid me $5.67 in dividends so far, which means that I'm up by $161.87 on that investment. My investment in Tyson Foods is also up, as the current stock price is $61.20, and the company has paid me $1.96 in dividends. My next investment is UPS, and the current stock price is $127.99, and the company has paid me $1.63 in dividends, which means that I'm down by $60 or negative 7.3% loss. My last company is Verizon, and their stock price is now $40.89 per share, and the company has paid me $3.99 in dividends, which means that I'm up by $15.15 or plus 3.2% return so far. So overall, you'll see that I've invested $5,000 into my dividend stock portfolio, and the current value of my portfolio is almost $5,400. This means that I'm up by $374 on my dividend stock investments, or plus 7.5% return in just 5 months. I hope that you found this update helpful, and make sure to check out my new videos for my August stock picks on my channel. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.